I didn't know I was muted. Oh, thank you for letting me know. I didn't know. Wonder when that happened. Sorry about that. Well, if you can read my lips, can you read lips? You'll know what I was talking about. I'm not going to repeat it all. It's TMI. Too much information, too little time. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Here's a photo, one of my favorite photos. My cat, the Foodie King, my Foodie Beauty, my Foodie King, eating my hand while he was gravely ill, sicker. Hand, food, fed, because he had to have his calories. My cat had to have calories. Like I said, I don't have a chair beside me. I do keep my cat stuff in storage. Actually, I'm going to have to go through everything later this year. I'm going to do it this autumn. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to wait till next spring clean. I'm going to do it this autumn. Now that I have more time, I have to go through stuff and just decide what I'm going to keep and what not going to keep. And is any of it charitable to donate to the Active Adult Center of Mississauga? Any new and or old? Just give it maybe a wash, hand it over to them. One of their clothing fairs or whatever, book fairs. Go on Facebook, you can see and read all about that. I mean, it's not like I go out my downstairs parking and take a cell phone of mine and press record and or real time and or live stream other residents themselves in their vehicles going by. I'm usually there and it's about me. And other people did about us, all about all children, about us. And I would really like to get, any on virtual social media and podcasts or whatever. I'd like to have a copy of that so I can give it to my lawyers. Do I ever have a new lawyer or a historical lawyer, whatever, and show and tell police? Because that is an invasion of privacy. I was doing it for privacy and safety issues. Those other people did not. They're persecutory delusional, obviously. I have nothing to fear. Nothing and nobody to fear other than fear themselves. They're paranoid. And or they're fans of mine and they just see the celebrity. And or a fan of my pussycat. They could be a fan of my mom, my dad, my father, parents, and those parents' parents, and those parents. And one end more animal, and one end more botany, and or one end more pets, fur babies, and or me. Although you don't do that outside my front door. Can you imagine? I don't. It's just disgusting, you know. And I removed the cover of my peephole, but I might have to put it back up there. I just don't like. I don't like not having privacy, you know. It's like a house. Could you imagine other people from the sidewalk coming to the front door, a residential neighborhood, and posing and taking photos, doing whatever they were doing on private property? No. And it's like, yet other people's properties may be in the background when myself and when or other were photographing, filming, videotaping, recording there. Although it wasn't intentional, and other people, as physically to add on in out from doors and windows. That's not good. That's not even lawful. Standing outside a front door without opening the screen door and filming there, recording there, videotaping, photographing. That's not normal. That's something that's not lawful, not legal. They're obviously not well mentally. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to somebody else's home and stand outside their premises and videotape and photograph myself. I mean, it's not like it's a historical, you know, uh, place that's heritage or something and it's vacant. It's um, it's a it's historical, you know, it's historical, geographical, scientific science. It's not like I sold a ticket. It's not like tickets for sale to have invited on a tour or anything. Balcony. That's one of the reasons why I don't go outside very often because anybody, although I'm very high up, should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not see very, although they might. I don't know that they can. Private property across the river creek thing or down there should can could may must and need photographed, recorded, filmed, videotaped, real timed, live streamed. Others on balconies and at windows and stuff. I don't think they should be able to. That they should, can, could, may, must, need, did. I think that's an invasion of privacy and safety. Myself and anyone else did that too. Although some other people did ask me, like maids and stuff, staff, could they photograph me and my cat or my cat? And sometimes I was like, well, I was reluctantly, but then I was like, no, you cannot, not even to show the before and after photos because you can't trust anybody these days because they can go on the internet anywhere and post it. They become public. And as soon as any of that ever happened, there was always a police report, incident, and or occurrence number because we had to report something. And security and condominium, all that, you know. And somebody put me on the internet, and I was like, I had to show up. I wanted to see what it was all about. And when there was some negativity, I was like, I have to protest. I have to defend my surname, my last name. I have to defend. I tell you, if I ever have another fur baby, pet, cat, dog, whatever, I won't be entering them on the internet, any contests or anything. My cat did very well. It was awesome. Had likes, I suppose, votes. But I won't see. Even today, I'm not putting Charles out there. My cactus, you know. I'm sure some of you like to see. Stay tuned. You will see as soon as my cactus has one and or more buds. Once the flower pops out, I will photograph and or video tape and or real time live stream. But until then, same with my balcony garden. It's you know I know what I live like. I'm not ashamed. There's nothing new. It's just me. And this is what you get. Me. What I eat during the day as a wannabe fat person. What I eat during a day as a wannabe fat person. Mukbangs and or mukbangs. Depends on pronunciation, I suppose. Asmir's, maybe, maybe not. Uh, Athletics. You get to watch me active. usually outside of the center. Do you want to see me? I haven't been there. You could go on Facebook. I mean, there's some reels, photos of my mom and I published there. Did videos too, and live streams. You could go see. I didn't realize 4,007 it registered as 3.52K. That's good. This week is yet another lazy week. I'm not doing anything very athletic. It's good that my mom used to walk with me. We used to go together. She could walk with her walker. I'm too young to have a walker. When the doctor told me I had to have a walker, I'm like, with what wrists am I going to hold a walker? I can barely use a cane because my wrists. I can hold a crutch because it's underneath and there's hardly any weight bearing on my right wrist. My left wrist, I can't do anything because of what you did. Not to proceed with my recuperating and recovering. And I've checked. I don't have diabetes. My numbers are too low. They're in the normal range, the lower end of normal. And of course, I cheated this summer. I've had many doubles. I have when I'm out, I try and have at least one double. Sometimes, not every time, although sometimes. Especially since we'd stopped got those skinny Food Co. pocket-sized condiments because I don't carry any condiments with me very often nowadays. And that's just, I don't drink my coffees black. Not yet. Not yet. Of course, I was encouraging my cat to eat. Eat, Rudy Noel, eat. So everything. And my mom likes her food. Yesterday was one of the best Sunday dinners we've had in a very, very long time. Were it not Meatless Monday, I'd actually eat another piece of that pie today. My mom can have a piece of that pie later. I'm going to have mine tomorrow with some pizza and or pasta. Pancakes were good. Pancakes were the best pancakes. That was the best plate of food. I've had pancakes in a long time, especially ones I've made. I know some of you are on my community post page made waffles. And this is not a waffle rope. I don't cut waffle. I just cut squares. Square. Actually, I didn't realize it. I thought it was all one color, though it is. It's patches. It's not a waffle cardigan. I don't wear a waffle robe. I should say it's not waffles. It's not waffles. I do miss being creative, knitting and everything. I don't do that anymore. I don't knit. I don't crochet. I don't do anything very creative with my hands other than video making. Well, that is okay. That's creative. I'd like to do some photography. I really would love to have a digital camera that I could print copies from, be it internet, social media, or, photo album. Because there's lots of beautiful birds in this neighborhood and other animals, chipmunks, squirrels, and stuff that I'd like to photograph. And not with me, just them themselves and put in an album and just keep as a collection. I did that at all my addresses, really, in backyards, but then with all the, downsizing and everything, I don't know where all the photos went. I don't know where they all went. I should have boxes of them. And then everything went to discs, CDs, and then this digital stuff. And the CDs, I can't find any of them. And I know my mom used to send mail to others more than I ever did. I don't know where they all went. Sort of online is like an online photo album. I don't show and tell everything. I don't share everything. Although, and now that I found this button, I would have liked to had that button oftener when my cat alive. Because that gives me more privacy and would have gave my cat more privacy and less embarrassment. My cat wasn't embarrassed, although my cat was a big proud. And hoodie my mom bought me and a blanket I have. I used the blanket once during an emergency, but I've washed it since. Although the hoodie I won't wear ever again unless I have another fur baby, as I said earlier. Be it anybody historical, geographical, financial, and I don't know. The hoodie, even if it was just a fish, goldfish or whatever. And were I to have, I don't want to have a fur baby until I don't need a pet sitter because I don't like earlier. Wasn't anybody personal and or residential, it was the veterinarians, and it was difficult. I remember with this one, I mentioned earlier, I would try and have him stay overnight because the did grooming and everything at the same time, so that because he was big and he needed sedated. And I don't, and then I got some anti-anxiety medicine, and it was not good for my cat heart could not take. And I blame a lot of it on the heavy doses of it. I know he was big and everything, but it was too strong. And I think that shortened his life some. And again, internet, I didn't like the internet, social, Facebook and Instagram, etc. And they would get offended were they to have found that I used the share buttons, and shared because I was a proud pet parent. I am a proud pets parent. Although don't accuse us of did anything. It was themselves. It was other people. It wasn't us. You don't accuse me of animal cruelty and abuse. I'll send the police and more to your front door. Judiciary. Justice. I didn't do it. My mom didn't do it. We didn't do it. My cat was gravely ill. I was the caregiver for more than 5.5 years. More than 5.5 years. Day in and day out. And my cat was independent. I'm supposed to have had safe privacy and safety 24/7. All was everywhere. You wanted to see and hear my cat? My social media, my internet. Pay attention to that. That's the only how, and anything like a contest or anything. But you don't put them out there as anything else because that's not what my cat was. My cat was not, and you don't lie about my cat gender to a referral and or forward the documents and show and tell my cat is a female. My cat was not female. My cat was not a girl. My cat was a boy, male. That wasn't me. That was them. Well, can, could, may, must, need, showed and told and show and tell. All that. All those all happened. Facebook, Instagram, etc. And I'll never use Eglinton Highway 10 Veterinary Clinic again, such as Facebook. And Mississauga Animal Hospital. The one that I did like that I possibly will never use again was Mississauga Cat Hospital because they were very cardiology, although she had problems with my cat tits. Other than that, and then I went elsewhere. They tried to medicate my cat with a pill of some kind, but my cat had to be euthanized anyways. We were just trying to extend life, and I didn't like my cat choking on that pill. That was it. And I did complain, and they didn't like the complaints. Well, that's uh not been professional enough. But the euthanasia and the spending time with my cat, they were really good about it. Really, really good about it. More than the Mississauga Oakville emergency was, although they were okay, although they weren't the best. Now, the week before Mississauga Animal Hospital did one, but it wasn't enough time. I needed a day's notice, and then the day of, and they couldn't. It was just awful. Although the grading cards I got, the sympathy cards I got from where my cat was, those two cats were euthanized, were really good, really very sympathetic, nice, kind, nice and kind. I just don't like how they use the word lost. It upsets me, you know, because my cat is not lost. I did not lost my cat. My cat is dead. The euthanasia was bought and paid for by my mom and I. And my cat is dead. Beloved pussycat. My loved, my liked pussycat. And I'd really like just to go out somewhere. There was one restaurant I liked the most. I can't get there. Maybe somewhere else later this year and have a. And I know about where I went in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, Windsor, Canada. I knew about that. My mom wanted to go. She used to go there before. I know all about the liars and the misinformation and everything, and they're themselves mental ill. Tried to spread it, and tried to involve my mom alleged relatives Thompson, Maud, and Richie, with and or without involved, and tried to involve my father, dead. My father alleged other relatives instead of doing their jobs, duties, jobs details, jobs descriptions, and titles. They fall in love with the internet and lying and everything, and they misinformation. It's all on Facebook, you know. I used the share button. I took photos legally, lawfully from there, and employably from there. I'm not much in the way of a traveler. I mean, I like to go to Niagara Falls like 4 times a year, and by the falls, and or at least once Niagara on the lake. That's pretty much it nowadays. My mom liked to go oftener. I didn't. And I like to go there for the food. Well, not for the food, but to for eat. Well, I eat food. I like the food there. I want food and beverages and condiments. And it was a nice place that I could exercise. Lots of walking outside. You know, I liked it. Once I mean, some people are like, you and your mother have to forget. You have to take medication. You forgot. I'm like, no, that's not the real world. If other people don't want to show and tell that we were there already, that's called something else. And trying to convince us that we were never there, all historically, all geographically, and all financially, and all new. And I was like, no, I've been here before. It's not the same place that I thought we were going to. It's the same place. I don't like it here. Oh, the bathroom looks clean enough, although, oh, I wonder what the food is going to be like. I was like, I don't really like it here. The elevator rides were pretty good. Going down and up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't know. Was it a Hilton hotel and or resort? I don't know. Nor do I care because usually I wouldn't stay there very. It's one of my least favorite places. Many of them, most all, they all are. Anything and everything. Hotel, motel, lodge, inn, whatever. Knowingly, I wouldn't look forward to it. I'd only stay there. Is it on the way to somewhere else? And it was, it's not me that's booking, not making the arrangements to go there. I mean, I've had a bad experience, bad experience, and I wouldn't stay there. Do I not need to? And do I not have to? And I was going to go to Ottawa this summer. And on the way, Montreal, Quebec, and it was supposed to be, it was alleged a Hilton place, hotel. I was like, like everything looks good, the foods, beverages, everything. And I'm like, I don't miss it, but I do miss the date in Ottawa. I was looking forward to doing something there. It would have been fun because I could have had a coffee, did a nice little walkabout, summer, suited me. A nice light lunch, nice shady area out the sun. Hopefully it wouldn't be raining. It wouldn't be a rain day. Didn't happen. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. As the travel coordinator person, travel agent, lost now. And I get to spend more rest time at home. With my family that remain alive. And hopefully we get to live many, many more years together. And all those haters, liars, all refunds, reimbursements, and all that stuff, they can remain persecutory delusional. That doesn't bother me any as long as they don't come anymore. Because that's who they are, persecutory delusional. They don't have to keep knowing us and then lie about us and in order to feel safe and continue doing more. Continues. They're just persecutory delusional. They're paranoid, aggressive, and agitated. And they should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not reach out to who, all names, all who, any, who, what, where, when, why, and how we were. And us more. There's boundaries. There should, can, could, may, must, and need be boundaries. And they should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not. Anita reached out to my mother and lied about my father and I and her and others and tell her what to do, especially when I worked at the Active Adult Center in Mississauga. They did not need, and all the times earlier, reached out to my mom, my house, and complained and asked for anything about me and gave any contact information to other members. It was they're just references and credentials. Nobody should, can, could, may, must, and need from their phone call my mom as often as they did and me. I don't believe in that. But then I am more educated. I am more career oriented and hobbies. I know more. I know not. I know somebody phone calls me, how they got my information. I don't know. And then ask personal information about another member and or anybody else. I'm like, if you know them, why are you contacting me? If you knew them as well as you did, you'd already have that contact information. Goodbye. And should you, can, could you, may, must, and need know us, knew, you'd already have that information. And you didn't. Goodbye. You're not getting it from me. I don't give out names, addresses, and phone numbers. Other members, other staff, employers. I mean, it's whatever's public, whatever out there public, that's all they've got. They put themselves out there. There's a function you might see me at. Another gala. Gonna have to get my hair washed and blow dried professionally. I don't believe my bangs, my fringe needs trimmed. Yay. Although, oh, and I got an email. I'm invited by other persons, Active Adult Center of Mississauga, annual general meeting, AGM, annual general meeting. Will I attend? I don't know. Depends how much more my nose is put out of place by then. I was like, Monica Tomaso, who is she? Internet. I've seen her, heard her before, so I tried to Google. I'm not internet trolling. I was just trying to reset it, my privacy settings. I'm like, ah. I was like, ugh. Couldn't find. Not spend more time on it. Don't want to know about it. Not going on Facebook right now. I'm there to Google and reset privacy settings mine and pets, fur babies. I'm just like, no, not doing it. And botany. I'll just leave it there. I can't bother going on there. Facebook is actually one of my least favorite social media. Other people. As Memberships and Employment Standards Act and alleged volunteering and human rights, privacy and safety were not enforced by one and more others. Mississauga Senior Citizen Center and Coffer, Square One Shopping Center, Square One Older Adult Center, and Central Parkway Mall and Active Adult Center of Mississauga, and some other people such as Joyce Perry Travel and some other people. And I just don't like it. I mean, was there the option that my mom didn't get published? She had to contact the staff. She either did it by a letter, only one, and or a phone call. And yes, they did it anyway, because I'm like, ignore her. She's always showing up as part of her membership. She showed up, just do it. Did anybody else showed up uh, and showed and told the staff there with and or without one and more members? They should have all been suspended and expelled. And we just had to advertise more for new customers because it's not their place. They registered there, they were members there, same with staff. They resigned, they could have gotten fired. It's just mismanagement, misinformation. And about radishes, etc. I know what's all out there, all the mischief and stuff. And sending me a letter blaming me for it all and saying, if you keep doing it, we won't let you return. I'm like, the evidence, you've got links and everything, and police report occurrence and or incident numbers right in front of your faces. You can't send that. It's just harassment. And I mean, all that, with and or without the landlord ended their lease tenancy and or rent in Square One. It's possibly and probably one and or more reasons, not excuses, they closed Square One Older Adult Center. And they've just decided to spread it. They get somewhere smaller and needs more than one bathroom in there, although greater and better than there. Yeah, they don't know how to appreciate and use and advertised accordingly and did all that other stuff. ESA, alleged volunteering, uh, human rights, etc. Memberships, privacy and safety. Facebook community guidelines and or standards. Alleged settlements that are non-factual, not eligible, not usable, according to all that stuff. Lost Canada Employment Standards Act, that's volunteering and human rights. Now, I could have been a Girl Friday there and used as the, am I there and use staff? Fine, I'll fill in. But no, they didn't want that. I did offer, and that's fine. Well, it's not fine actually, because it's misinformation about me being volatile, violent, etc. Security's cameras on there, and all those tapes recorded, and during surveillance. And I mean, a man of any, whether I told him, well, I did, I told him to leave me alone. And I even, when he pledged me one of the walkathons, I returned to sender because I wanted nothing to do with him. And the staff there wouldn't do it, so I did. And then he caused a big stink about it. And I was like, I don't care. He's not allowed to be with us anymore. He could go sit somewhere else. And then I'm like, he shouldn't be anywhere. Yet they wanted him on site. And I'm like, that's where he was the violent one. He was violent and volatile. He was a danger to one and more others there. And I was like, he should have been expelled from there with and or without the other center and be gone. The center would flourish a lot more. Doesn't matter, and it didn't matter what he was showed and told on the internet. And he can't phone us anymore. He can't send us any more emails. He should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not. All about us on such as Facebook and YouTube, TikTok. He should just leave us alone. He should have been expelled. And I should have been apologized. I should, can, could, may, must, and need apologize to. And reinstated. Maybe it's the Girl Friday, like just, but it never happened, so it's not going to happen. Well, one of the reasons it's not going to happen is because I don't know that I'm ever going to return there. Right now, I'm not returning there anytime soon. I'm not going there anymore. Although you'll have to stay with me on YouTube, and you never know what I'll vlog. Vlog like videos. Just never know. Just stay, and if you go on Facebook, you never know. It might be all historical, not geographical, although you never know. You know who I'm talking about. Celebrity stalker Bill Beckett. I remember he used to try and sit with us square one. I was like, no. And then he bothered us more and forced himself. And I'm not into that. I mean, I'm not into stuff. I'm heterosexual, but I am not into knowing a man. I was single, and he was an alleged acquaintance and or friend, although I wanted nothing more to do with them, and I tried to stop it with police and one and more others, all legally and lawfully and employably, although, and as I very rarely go there anymore. You know, past week, the last time I was there. I mean, it's one of those places, times, was he to die himself of whatever illness and or whatever, and whoever, I won't be attending the funeral, and were they to have a celebration of life, which would amaze me, and or mention him as at an AGM and as a rose, a white rose, I wouldn't show up for that. I wouldn't hold a rose to anything. I wouldn't do nothing. I would actually do nothing. Go to a funeral or anything. Would pay my last respects or anything. No man in his right mind would yell at me like that and get violent and come over to where other people were sitting and yelling and screaming and do stuff on the internet. You know, I can forgive lots, although I don't forgive animals' cruelties. I do not forgive that abuse. I'm a migraine sufferer, and like I said the other day, I spent lots of time in my dark bedroom, very little daylight, hardly any really. Everything was nice and dark, as dark as it could get. And I miss my pussycat because my pussycat was the best company ever during with Andrew with a hot or coffee or anything. We would just lay there for hours on end. So those 2 hours, one of the first 2 hours I've ever napped, is, close my eyes and rest by myself, and my cactus nearby, somewhere home, of course, although it's not the same as it used to be. Of course, it won't ever be. I remember when my mom and my whiskers died, all those fish that I had as pets died, and I had all that loneliness. And then when Birdie Noel came, the loneliness went away. I was back again. And I blame lots of it on the internet. Other people, such as Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Historical, no geographical, no financial alleged emails from, although other people, factual, too. And all those ISPs and Wi-Fi should, can, could, may, must, and need, should and told, and show and tell public all that information. All that. And any and all hard copies of all that information too. Actually, this weekend and today is the worst migraines I've had. Headaches since before, since 2023. And other residents haven't been noisy around here next door. It's just, I think a lot of it's heat related from the bus ride too on Saturday. And yesterday, between cooking, just laying on my bed for a couple hours. Although the active out center more than anywhere else, Mississauga Senior Center, Square One Shopping Center, Mississauga Senior Citizen Center, Square One Shopping Center, Square One Older Adult Center, and Central Parkway Mall. The active out center in Mississauga has been one of the places that has showed and told me the witch, the Bellis witch. And I appreciate that. That's one good thing. The good witch. And this year Halloween costume, I don't know what it's going to be. I go on and on and on and on, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to be at home wearing a t-shirt. Just wearing a t-shirt. Pants of some kind or other, or a skirt. I'm going to be wearing a t-shirt. Not doing much else, just wearing a t-shirt. Eating some candy. A bag of candy. About the same size as this bag. Yeah. Oh, there's a pen in there. I was looking for a pen. I was looking for a pen right with me. I got a pen. Candies. Either be the same size or half the size. I'm just going to sit all Halloween evening eating some candies. And do I go out? I'll bring home a double. Nice big one. Do I not? I might just have a tea with it. And just sit back and have a nice big box of tissues with me. and have as many Halloween photos I can find of my pussycat, and just have them, and have my Halloween mug, and just sit there and cry. Just sit home and cry. Have a nice big garbage bag so I can fill up the bag with my used tissues, my tears and snot. Just sit, cry, feel sorry for myself. Maybe we can go out for dinner that night. That would be good. Go somewhere for dinner that night. Have the family celebration of life, my Rudy Noah. And or order in. Maybe we can have Chinese or something. To this day, I still do some magic. I mean, I'm not the best, not the worst, but it's not what you think it is. It's just like, dude, when you go to a magic show, a magician, voila. I sometimes just do it even waiting to pay for something. Like if I order a coffee, sometimes I'll just fiddle daddle with something like money or something, and I'll just do a little trick while I'm waiting. It relieves stress. I don't do anything to anybody else. It's just amongst myself. It's just like with coffees and teas, I play with the bubbles. Sometimes I drink them, sometimes I don't. And I'll just wait and I'll just try to pop them stuff and play around with them for a little while before I drink them. I love botany because it's wonderful to watch stuff grow. And then, especially in the autumn when all the leaves and then the spring comes and all the buds and everything, and it's just so wonderful. It's just like my geranium. It had blossomed, it did everything, and then all of a sudden I was like, huh? Because I hadn't been out there in a while. And I was like, oh no. So, I mean, some people think you've heard me talk. I talk to my cactus, I talk to that. So I started to talk to my and give them little hugs and cuddles and everything, as best as plants can get. And I went out, and there was like a whole lot of buds. Like, ooh la la, I deserve that. So does my geranium. I'm actually going to go out in a little while and have a look see. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more buds and flowers. Beautiful. It's bushed out really lovely. And the marigolds. And I don't do much of anything except just some water. Because I figure water has enough nutrients because it's got organisms and cells and stuff. The roots just drink it up. Charles the other day loved, I'd put a little bit in, drank it all up, more, drank it all up, more, drink it all up. Big, beautiful cactuses come a long way. Did anyone hurt my cactus? That's animal cruelty. I don't care if anybody and everybody thinks I'm weird. I'm not weird. I'm unique. I'm not special. I'm unique. That cactus, has come a long way. I cleaned it up. I trimmed it up. I did everything that I could to make it healthier again. Now I'm just waiting. There's lots of new foliage and everything. Has lots of less anxiety, lots of less stress. Not that I care one way or another. I mean, I did like and love my cat, and my cat lived and died, and my cactus lives. Alive. I'm not going to kill my cactus because my cat died. It is dead. Absolutely not. Nobody should, can, could, may, must, and need ever took my cat and or my plant from outside of here or themselves to on in out from and by here to did anything. every day, all the time. I was stooping and scooping, except the last day because I kept that one litter box. And I couldn't put the litter box in the garbage chute. I had to leave it in the garbage room. There was blood. And I took samples of the bleeding to my veterinarians and everything. It was just awful. I just cannot fathom. And yet, one and or more vet did without the anxiety medication as too much. They gave all the, oh, I like the probiotics. So did my cat. They loved that powder. Probiotics. They gave him, we gave him as many nutrients as we could. And the congestive heart failure medicine. Uh, Pain relievers. We tried to give him everything to keep him comfortable. He loved life. He loved us. He didn't like I said, strangers, and meaning, where my mom was before she was a false risk. She fell. The paramedics, everybody came. He did not, my cat had an anxiety attack, did not like an anxiety attack. My cat does not like, just like here in 2024, he did not like. When my mom alleged youngest brother returned my mom home reluctantly, and threw her suitcase at me. He could have killed my cat. Had you know, he could have killed my cat with that suitcase. He hurt my legs. He hurt me. And that man should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not, human, to, at, on, in, out, from, and by all others. All about, all to, and all about my parents and my parents' parents and those parents, 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 and those parents, 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 and all animals and all botany and all pets, all fur and myself. All names, all named, all historical, all financial, all geographical, and all new. Bellis. And is he on this with and or without one and or Maud and or Richie and or Thompson? Why? And or alleged lawyer? I mean, they're internet trolling. They're wrong. They're not legal. They're not lawful. They're obviously neurologically impaired, mentally ill. Excuse me. Universe. Themselves stalkers, internet trolling, haters, jealouses, violent, predatory, resentful, discriminations, prejudices, prejudges, racist, bigots, internet trolling, cyber stalkers, cyber stalking, and that man was rejected by my parents and from my mom. Police reports, occurrence, and or incident reports numbers all happened. Phone number changes all happened. Nobody should, can, could, may, must, and need gave that man, human, Thompson, all those other people are contact information. Here, there, and all elsewhere. Privacy and safety, balances. Including anything on everything internet. I mean, I tried keep those contact informations private and not on the internet at any given time, at all times, always, everywhere. And everything and anything, all those other people's social media, such as alleged vlogging, should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, and need not, showed and told and shown to us, all those Bellas and me, a Bellas, it's because anything and everything as worse than Amberlynn Reed and Louisa's Journey and Chikara Transformations, Witch's Cookery, Maren Altman, uh, Lauren Kennedy West, Living Well with Schizophrenia, and Active Out Center of Mississauga. All witnessed, and all should, can, could, may, must, and need, showed, and told, and showed, and tell us. Everywhere. He's not even allowed through security here, parking security, lobby security. He's not allowed anywhere. Not anywhere. He should, can, could, may, must, and need go home. Can he? Because of everything it did, not lawful, not legal, and all bad, and all wrong, and all purposeful, etc. in Canada. Return home and suffer the consequences of his own making. Raid. With and or without himself going to prison for more than a year at least. Did as. And with all himself persecutory delusions. I mean, someone else showing and telling themselves and or one and more other that Bellis is, as I mentioned earlier, and myself, grandiose delusional, been at one of those veterinarian places and or centers and published on social media, etc., websites, everything. It is and it is not. Then only stalkers would show and tell, grandiose delusional. Because themselves obviously are. Such as Thompson, THOMPSON, THOMSEN, THOMSON, and Maud MAUDE, and Richie, Angela, etc. My parents, when I show and tell about my family, I like to show the good. Not any of the bad and ugly, just the good. I mean, I can't help but show this ugly. Although, I like to show anything and everything as good. Internet Wi-Fi's, virtually, websites, networking, social media, emails, obviously. I did not lie. Like I said, my mom liked to send mail. I don't like her nowadays, I don't do much. I try to keep everything and anything mostly digital. In case my mom starts to, because of that man. When he was here in 2023 or 2024 and earlier, he tried to get my mom to do the same as him, stalking, sending mail. Got my mom to write in greeting cards. I couldn't find out exactly what my mom was writing. And then he was going to address the greeting cards to who they were going to. And I was like, absolutely not. Do not put my name on it. And you shouldn't do it too. He was very abusive. And my mom would send mail to other people and include phone numbers. And I'm like, Mom, you're not supposed to reach out like that. They're not allowed to know us anymore. Many of them weren't allowed to come to us anymore since my dad died in 1984 or whenever. My mom liked to be independent. She really did. She liked to do things independently for some time. And then noticed when mom came home different. I mean, she looked the same, she sounded the same, she just behavioral was different, and she began to talk differently. And I'm like, what happened? And she used to go to somewhere, Mississauga Retina Institute, and she just didn't. She complained about headaches more, and I was like, well, why go? It's not making you feel any better. Stop going. Go get your eyes. And then we went some awful place, alleged lens crafter. And my mom headaches increased, and she became, and then when she was with that Norman Thompson, not the Norman at the center that was allegedly a bingo winner, Norman Thompson, Scotland, Edinburgh, Alba, wherever. And he didn't make her feel any better. She got worse. And I went to my doctor, and I sat there concerned, waiting. I often attended he wasn't the next of kin, it was me. I wanted my mom to feel better so she could have a better quality of life and enjoy life all the more. I've done it since my dad died. I've always done it. I've had my independence. My mom tried to have her independence. I very rarely did anything that was social outside of that. I did do some. I did try and date. I did try and get married. I've had a fiance, this and that, and everything. I've been very single since I began pet parenting my cat Rudy Noel. I have not done much of anything. I didn't want to know those other people next door. I had not any interest in them whatsoever. I was parenting and helping my mom. Doctor referral. Credit Valley Hospital, Senior Services in Neurology. And of course, I went to patient relations before, and all the ER visits before, paramedics and ER. My mom's just not feeling well. They lied that the medication that my mom may must need won't bring back my mom memories, although it will sort of delay the forgetting or whatever, not make my mom feel any 100%. I'm like, I've known other people that have had what you said my mom has, and they were not the same. They were different. They didn't have it. And I'm like, my mom wanted to change medication, have better. She said no. And I'm like, this is like deja vu. I'm like, I must have taken medication for how many years? And it's like, it wasn't like, it was as though they wanted my mom to forget instead of not forget. And I'm like, I looked into it, and I'm like, medication's not going to make my mom forget. It's going to try and bring back those memories. And does my mom remember? I encourage my mom to remember. And it's not new referrals of any kind, and so I've met once more. And just because we moved around and gave contact information that we have, doesn't change my mom's mental health. They're the ones that are incompetent, and they should be replaced by healthcare workers that are more qualified and want my mom feeling better, because there's a head trauma there's traumas to my mom's head that have to be investigated furthermore, so that those treatments can change, so that my mom's head can feel better. And is there damage? We deal with that as healthcare, because my mom was not always well, as I mentioned earlier. And they tried to say my mom was mentally ill, neurologically. They didn't identify the illness and treat it. They just said there's something, but they won't treat it. I'm like, that's not healthcare. That's not health. And then they said my mom has an Alzheimer's subtype, and I'm saying there's no such thing really. It's either is or isn't. So what is it? And then they agreed that there was a head trauma. They want to look into it more. No, I'm like, my mom needs a new CT, MRI. They told my mom to stop drinking alcohol. And I'm like, okay. And then my mom alleged that senility runs in her family. Their father was senile. Like, senile is not the same as Alzheimer's. They're two different things. Senility and Alzheimer's and dementia. And we went to the next appointment. The doctor refused to change medication, refused to do much of anything. She said my mother had improved. I'm like, oh, really? I reported that to patient relations and said, Mom, you're changing doctors. Let's get someone closer. Maybe we could get you new medication. Maybe we could even increase the dose. We'll see. If your eyes don't feel better, maybe in the autumn we can go to another place to get your eyes checked, optometry. Maybe you need stronger lenses. We'll deal with that at the time because she values her eyesight, you know. Actually, her eyesight has improved somewhat, I've noticed. Often she sees more, not less, since she stopped going to the Mississauga Retina Institute. I think her eyes are feeling better. The alleged treatments they were giving her, her eyes are resting more. And she likes to read books. And I'm like, read more, whether you're interested in the books and or not. Because I find I get migraines too, because my eyes are lazy. And it's not a normal lazy. It's just my eyes don't read like they used to. I can write, but I like to read 1 or 2 books every month now. The hard time is I read books and I've doubled and tripled up with book clubs and everything that I've read. And I don't like to read the same books over and over again. So one of the things I like about cooking, I can look up on the internet a book and read. I could read other things. Like when I had a cat, my cat, reading alive, I would look into Google or whatever, a library book or store book, and read up about healthcare. It didn't matter if I read the book before or not. I just was really interested in it and I could read. This time around, I'm like, oh, I like that book. And I read it. I'm like, oh, I've read it before. I get through the first 1 or 2 more chapters. And I'm like, oh, skim through it and get to the back. But then my eyes are exercising, they're getting, although as a migraine sufferer, when I have a migraine, I can't read. I have to rest my eyes. And I find that the internet puts, strain on my eyes too because of the bright light. It's all normalities. It's normal. And when I don't read lots, I like being athletic. And ever since my cat died, I've had one setback after the other. My knees, my ankles, my feet, my legs, my wrists, my hands, my left forearm, and the headaches, migraines. And then the heat on the weekend didn't make me feel any better. It made me feel worse. It's another setback. And then there was a man sitting behind me. I mean, I don't like being touched by anybody, especially my head, Maybe next time, although I doubt there is going to be one, because I told the staff there, so I'm never going back on there with you. I didn't like the ride too. I don't know much about the Thompsons that my mom alleged herself related to, although that they were allegedly Scottish and English. And I tried resetting my privacy settings earlier, and I don't want mentioned by them. I don't know it's mentally ill or anything. It's none of their business. I showed and told, but if they're going to show secondhand information, make sure it's not misinformation, because there's phone records, there's all that historical and all geographical and all financial, all that information public at all other times, and phone records, etc. All the stalking they did off and on YouTube and off YouTube. None of them should, can, could, may, must, and need use the name Bellis, as I mentioned earlier. Names Bellis to add on in, out from, and by Canada, whether they stayed a day or more. Customs, etc. Honestly, customs, etc. He wasn't her next of kin for more than 15 and a half years in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. What makes any of that changed? Not anything, not anyone. Norman Thompson, James Maud, Angela Maud, and Angela Ritchie. Internet. With and or without one other person. Persons. People. I wonder if he phone called more this weekend. Did he phone in? Or they, those Thompsons, Mauds, and Richies, and or Richie, phone called my mom once more and left another harassing and bullying message on voicemail. And that they're concerned about my mom's safety. Why? They're the ones that put themselves out there publicly. They're the ones that did it. I'm like, oh, mom doesn't feel well. I'm gonna get a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or a mug of. Me too. That's the only way to get rid of each other. It's just let zen. You rest and relax where you want. I'll rest and relax where I want. And my cat had his water dish whenever, we just rest. Not their versions of it all. All of that misinformation. All that. Word kill. Kill with a hot beverage. I'm not going to kill with a hot beverage. I'm just wanting her to rest. Kill longevity. In other words, I'm not trying to kill her. I'm trying to longevity her, have her feel better and enjoy another day, and have her die of natural causes later in life. God. See if they can remember anything that's religious, and Bible, and all that stuff, longevity. And my mom died naturally. We die of nature, natural health problems, And anyone and everyone that takes credit for those health problems outside of all that should, can, could, may, must, and need arrested, jailed, with and or without probation and or paroles new, and sued. I'm going to make my mom and I tea. Just as I mentioned, tea. Somebody going to report it to the police that I'm a danger to myself and or my mom and others. Tea. We're going to have tea. I'm not going to be the danger. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm making myself and my mom stovetop and or whatever, cold water boiled hot. 2 tea bags, tea bag in each. My mom has a condiment served. We drink our teas. I'm going to die of those teas? Not necessarily. Well, actually, no. Although longevity, not everybody lives forever. So she's gonna die. God will come one day. And I'll tell God myself to fuck off and leave us alone. Bugger off. Get out. You're not welcome yet. Well, you're never welcome. Religion can piss off. They're not allowed to take anything. Anyone. Yet. Does my mom die? It's going to be in her autopsy reports. Everything. Teas and coffees. When's the last time you gave your mama tea? Go check. Because I'm very public about my teas and coffees and bottles of water and everything and tap water and everything. I'm very public. It's not me. I'm not going in there with a poison. It's just tea. Coffees. It's just beverages and stuff. As far as I know, through my mom's doctors, by my mom's doctors, my mom should, can, could, may, must, and need, has. It's not a poison. They're not poisons. They're not poisonous. It's just tea, coffee, teas and coffees. Teas and coffees. And all that other misinformation out there that I tried to and killed, and I'm a 50-51 or 50-51-50, whatever it's called, danger to her and myself. Teeth. I'm not suicidal. Neither is my mom. I'm not trying to kill. I'm not getting a veterinarian to euthanize my mom. Total and utter misinformation. And as I'm going to leave you now and go do that. And we are going to rest. I'm going to rest my voice. And my mom is going to have more tea and do whatever in between sips and rest. And we're just going to live another day. And all you haters can fuck off and leave us alone, because we're going to live another day. Days. Have a nice day. Goodbye.